I'd like to welcome everyone to the Administration Finance Committee meeting for Tuesday, September 2nd of 2025. Would the clerk please take roll?
Trustee Wilson.
Here.
Trustee Brett. Here. Trustee Stromberg.
Here.
Mr. Vitale.
Here.
Mr. Simons.
Here.
Ms. Bain.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, we do indeed have a quorum. Next on the agenda, approval of minutes from August 18th of 2025. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion
made.
approved. Second.
Motion for Mr. Rote, second for Mr. Vitale. Were there any comments, questions, corrections to the minutes? If there are none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, minutes have been approved. Next on the agenda is a warrant totaling $240,632.87. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So made.
Second.
Motion from Trustee Stromberg, second from Mr. Simons. Were there any questions, comments about the warrant this evening? If there are none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, warrant will go to tonight's board meeting with positive recommendation. Next on the agenda, before I get into it, I'm really flexing my Roman numerals. I'm going to get it. Ordinance 3225, amending Chapter 20, Article 9, soliciting. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So made. Second.
Motion from Ms. Bain, second from Trustee Stromberg. Maybe a staff report, please, from Sarah. All right.
I'll give the staff report in Sarah's absence. So thank you. After numerous calls from concerned residents about door-to-door solicitors failing to follow permit requirements, using aggressive and deceptive sales tactics, and approaching homes on the do not knock registry, village staff has decided to review our solicitation ordinance and compare it to ordinances of nearby communities. Staff has prepared proposed amendments to Chapter 20, Article 9, soliciting in the village code. Changes include restricting solicitation hours, adjusting fines and fees, and enhancing visibility of solicitors by requiring a village-issued vest in addition to the permit badge they have to wear, and uploading photos of permitted solicitors to a web page accessible to residents to check if those folks are indeed permitted. We believe these ordinance changes appropriately balance the right to free speech and expression with the village's responsibility to protect health, safety, and welfare of its residents. And staff is recommending the approval of ordinance 32-25. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Are there any comments, questions from the committee? If there are none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, ordinance 3225 will go to the September 15th board meeting with positive recommendation. Next is resolution 59R25 to award construction contract for Park 90 access road improvements. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So made.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Simons, second from Ms. Bain. We have a staff report, please, from our fill-in engineer.
Thank you. Yes, just a little history on this project. So the village had entered into development agreements with two developers for the improvements of Park 90 subdivision. As part of those agreements, the village had agreed to pay for public infrastructure, i.e. water and sewer, as well as the construction of a right-in, right-out access road from Illinois 173. Also under those agreements, construction of that access road was to begin upon completion of a building foundation by the developer. Anticipating that that foundation is yet to be completed in 2025, staff has decided to proceed with the public letting process for the park access improvements. The results you have before you this evening. There were 7 general contractors as plan holders, 3 of which submitted proposals. McMahon has reviewed the proposals and at this time finds NTRAC Group to be the lowest responsible bidder. Therefore, we recommend passage of resolution 59-R-25 awarding the contract to NTRAC Group. Thank you.
All right, we'll also comment that that will go to tonight's board meeting when we make our vote. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and again, resolution 59R25 goes to tonight's board meeting with positive recommendation. Next is resolution 60R25, award construction contract for 2025 pavement maintenance program. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So made. Second.
Motion from Trustee Stromberg, second from Mr. Vitale. Make the staff report again from engineering.
Yeah, thank you. So before I get into the bid results this evening, just Chris asked me to give kind of a high level background on the process involved between budget time till where we stand today. So obviously at budget time, we're putting together some very high level opinions of probable costs, and we're using what we think are very safe unit prices with some contingency to add a little extra buffer. And obviously, when we start getting into design, we're diving into the weeds a bit more and getting into the details and the scope of the project. And generally, one or two things happens during that time. We either come across items that cost a bit more than what we anticipated during budgeting, or typically items may cost less. And more than often than not, it's the latter. And because of that, in previous years' programs, we've been able to add alternate work in the programs and still stay under budget. Unfortunately, this year was not that case. And there's a couple of reasons for that. So in a nutshell, that's the process, and I'll get into the bid results. So this year we had 5 general contractors as plan holders, one of which submitted a bid. And the results of those are in your supplement agenda this evening. As you can see, the bid results came in substantially higher than the engineer's opinion of cost, both in the base bid and the alternate bid. And there can be a couple of reasons for that we're looking at this year. First and foremost, we were advised during design that N-Track and Kern sold their asphalt plant. So now Rock Road is the sole supplier of asphalt products in the Rockford metro area. So those very safe, what we thought were very safe unit prices during budget time ended up not being as safe as we thought. So we did see the potential for increased prices though during design. So we planned ahead accordingly for that in this year's program. We ultimately removed 2 streets from the program. Old Harlem Road was removed because it's close proximity to Stone's Landing. It would be nice to have that resurfacing work completed in conjunction with those improvements at the same time. And then Obispo was removed because it's a relatively low volume street that can survive another year before it gets resurfaced. We had made the Meyer Ponds an alternate this year's program. And when Chris was doing the budgeting for that work, he had anticipated some minimal drain tile for that pond to make it work a little bit more efficiently. And then in order to address the overgrowth that's occurring in those ponds, there's going to be some removals and some herbicide applications. However, after getting into design, diving a little bit more in the weeds, no pun intended, he realized that in order to really get these ponds to function most efficiently, we needed to add a lot more drain tile than what he had anticipated. Furthermore, in order to assist Public Works as far as future maintenance goes, to minimize that future overgrowth from occurring again, we really needed to remove that upper 12 inches of soil and replace it with some good soil. So all of that increased the scope, increased the cost of that project. Staff also had added a couple items in this year's program, which is very common, removal and replacement of seven culvert pipes at various locations throughout the village. And probably the most impactful for this year's program, and you see it in the bid results, is some removal and replacement or resetting of permeable paver block on Roosevelt Road. Chris had budgeted $40,000 for that work. The pricing for the bid came in at $482,000. So as you can imagine, we were shocked to see that. Just a little perspective, when all the pavers were placed on Roosevelt Road years ago, it cost the village approximately $600,000. Now to do about 6% of that surface area, it would cost $482,000. So simply just doesn't make sense to include in this year's program. So we reached out to Rock Road. They agreed to remove the scope of the brick pavers from this year's contract. So at this time, we do recommend award to the lowest responsible bidder, Rock Road Companies, with the condition that the paver block scope will be removed from the contract, and that'll be done via change order after the contracts are executed. Thank you.
And this is another one that will move quickly and go to tonight's board meeting. Just want to refresh everyone on that. Everyone's good? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Resolution 60R25 will go to tonight's board meeting with positive recommendation. Next is Resolution 61R25, authorizing purchase of a 2025 Varmir BC 100 XL wood chipper. I feel like I'm in the Price is Right. Entertain a motion to approve.
Approve. So made.
Motion
Second.
from trustee Rote, second from Mr. Simons. Have the staff report, please, from Mitch.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. As presented at the budget meeting in February, this year's equipment additions included a dump truck with a snowplow, a wood chipper, and a track skid steer. Additionally, there were 2 smaller attachments for the skid steer in this year's capital budget, a post hole auger and a brush mower. Currently, the village rents a wood chipper from Lincoln Rental for $974 a week. We have rented a chipper 5 times so far this year and would easily rent it another half dozen times by this fiscal year's end. Now that the village owns a chipping canopy for our Chevy 6500, I would expect that number to rise annually. Unfortunately, rental availability has become problematic after large storm or wind events because of the chippers in our area are rented out for weeks at a time by contractors or homeowners who have sustained large amounts of damage. Also, along with a variety of scheduled projects that the Public Works Department is responsible for, there are other unexpected tasks that come up or that come down or that can cause downtime for the rental unit while in our possession. With our staffing levels, it's impossible to dedicate 5 straight days to tree work, so the chipper often sits for a couple of those days that we have it rented. Staff appreciates that the board has agreed to allow the village to purchase the chipper, and if the village owned a new, reliable unit, we would be able to do tree work and chip branches as time becomes or is made available through scheduling. Ultimately, staff would get more of this type of work done, and it would allow the village to be more responsive to down trees and overhanging branches throughout the year. Following the approval of the budget, staff researched used wood chippers. This included an online search as well as visiting rental companies to inspect their inventory. Staff was disappointed with the used chippers we looked at, mostly due to their condition and the number of hours that these units had on them. Staff is apprehensive purchasing a used unit with a high number of hours because of the almost certain maintenance issues and downtime. We even had downtime on some of our rental units. So for example, the first unit that we rented this year, we started it up at Lincoln's Yard. They walked staff, through it on the operation of it, brought it back, got it hooked up to our truck, put it out in the field. And as soon as we started up, went to engage the clutch and it wouldn't work. So we took it back. They exchanged it, no problem, for one they had. The rest of that rental went smooth. We had a couple rentals in a row that went smooth. And then this last time that we had the chipper, it worked good for the first 2 days. And then we got it out in the field, and it would, as soon as we would try to feed branches into it, the RPMs would bog down and it would die on us. And it kept doing it. So we just took it back. During the budget process, the board authorized $35,000 for a used wood chipper. Keeping in mind the board's concerns regarding the overall equipment expenditures, Public Works can forego the purchase of the previously mentioned auger and brush cutter for the skid steer that were planned for this year. By foregoing these 2 pieces of equipment, the Public Works Department would remain within budget for capital purchases for this fiscal year. Respectfully, staff asks that the board consider allowing the village to purchase a new wood chipper. Resolution 61R25 requests authorization to purchase a 2025 Vermeer BC 1000 XL wood chipper with budgeted Public Works capital equipment funds in the fiscal year 2026 budget. The village receives a significant discount by using the existing state bid contract through Sourcewell. In this case, the discount was almost $6,000. The village does not get that same municipal discount when we purchase used equipment. Our purchasing power on the used market is the same as any contractor that walks in the door at whatever implement. The new unit also comes with a 3-year warranty. Resolution 61R25 would authorize the village administrator to enter into a purchase agreement with Vermeer Midwest not to exceed $57,372.98 and execute any documents necessary for the purchase of a 2025 Vermeer BC 1000 XL wood chipper. Staff is recommending approval of this agenda item. Additionally, this is above the state purchasing allowance of $25,000. Therefore, a majority of the board will be required to waive formal bidding. Any questions? I'd be happy to answer.
Are there any questions from the committee? Is it 100 or 1,000?
1,000.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? All right, resolution 61R25 will go to the September 15th board meeting with positive recommendation. Next is reports. Is there anything under reports? Next is public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address this committee for the good of the village? Did you want to do this committee or did you want to do the board meeting?
I'd do it right now.
All right, step right up. Please give us your first and last name, your address, and you'll have 2 minutes.
Okay, my name is Richard Lundquist. I live at 6451 Carina's Curve, Machesney Park. Recently, they have boarded or put up barriers for the land behind us, which is a county land. For some reason, they've done that somebody sent a letter saying that there was all kinds of parties going on there. There was excessive traffic. That is not true at all. There's never been any of that there. That was an anonymous letter. The person didn't have the gumption to sign the letter himself. And I talked to the mayor about it. I submitted this petition from seven of the 8 people that live on that street that back up to that farm. We use that all the time to go in and out for mulch deliveries. When we had the tornado came through, they allowed us to use that back there to cut down the trees. They even put the trees over on their side. Now, she didn't have to do that, but she did it anyway. I'd like to know why nobody checked to see this anonymous letter with any of the residents there to see if this was true. I talked to you about it, and you said you were gonna check and see if anybody had called those residents, had stopped by. It'd only take an hour to talk to all the people in that street, only 8 homes. Did you talk to anybody and find out if they had talked to anybody?
You don't get to question in your comments. You just get to address the committee.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
It's all right.
I'm new to this. But I would like to have it open up. I'd like to know why she can't use that to drive her car in there and park it. Also, the farmer used to come in twice a year and mow the hay and the rest of the field back there. He can no longer do that because he doesn't have access. It was suggested that she put in a road from Old River Road, but that would cost probably $10,000. It's gonna cost her $6,000 to have somebody come in and cut down the trees and haul them away and dig out the stumps just to get ready to put in the gravel and stuff to make an entrance. She can't afford that. And
Thank
there's
you
no
for your
reason
comments.
why-
Your time is up this evening. Thank you, sir.
So is somebody gonna look into this or not?
We are all absolutely listening and we have taken down notes, and yes, we will. It has been on our plate and we will continue to address this matter.
Okay, as my trustee, can I
Yes.
call you and find out how things are
You've
going?
already called me and we've already chatted about it, so feel free to call again.
I will. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address this committee for the good of the village? If there are none, we will call for adjournment. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So made.
Motion from trustee Stromberg, second from
Second.
Ms. Payne. All in favor to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, this meeting is adjourned.